Don't you look at me like that, you stinking modular dungeon tile. Don't you tell me how useful you are with your fog of war, your implied measurements. Don't you look at me with that reversible wooden or stone surface of yours so as not to give improper advantage to stone walkers. Don't you come at me with your smug little wood stain dry brush attitudinals. I will adjust your bust, boy. I won't put a rogue on you. What? What'd you say? You hear that? He's backsassing me. Brrr! Greetings, programs. Drunken and Dragons here. Hankering Fernail, your old buddy. Another great episode. Well, it might be great. How to play D&D mode better than you used to. Well, it's back to key mechanics time. And I don't give a damn what's on the table right now. As long as I got my brew, and as long as I got you, there's something to do. What's it gonna be? Well, key mechanics. Now, this one is just like heady. So, you might as well just, minimize the window so you can still hear my sonorous tones, but you really don't want to be looking at my ugly dwarven mug while I'm talking through this stuff. It's just too awkward. So just minimize the window. Maybe, bring up some MotoGP footage. Watch that with mute on. And I'll just yammer on about key mechanics for a little while. So what's the theme of today's key mechanics? It's not modular dungeon tiles. That whole other, I don't know what that was. Class challenge. Woo! Man, oh man. How to challenge player classes. Now this was a viewer request that I tried to do a key mechanics video on challenging character classes in specific ways that keep them coming back for more in your game. Now, a lot of times, you're so focused on maintaining a cool story, trying to surprise everybody, kind of trying to blow their minds with the scale of your story, researching your monsters, making sure all your prep is ready so that you're not making up stats on the spot, because cool DMs don't do that stuff. It can be very easy to lose track of the fact that each character has different strengths, weaknesses, and things that intrigue them. Now, if you've been watching the Campaign Encounter series, you know that I'm a huge believer in making the encounters all about the players and not just encounters. So this quick little video about key mechanics is just 5 quick ideas, one for 5 different classes, about challenges and ways to get your game to engage certain character classes. Okay, let's just rip through them. Fighter. What do you want to do if you want to make your fighter feel cool? Get into a huge melee battle that feels like war. How do you run a war? Well, combine the stats of a big horde, infinitely spawn them until something can stop them from spawning, and then have your fighter do the engaging. So the other players are trying to stop the spawn from happening, they're trying to put out the fire, they are trying to stop the demons from being summoned, while your fighter is just amazingly holding back an entire horde. Now, you don't want to fudge the rules so much that it's just like, you hold back the entire horde, good job. No, you want to set it up so that it's relatively fair. But this is the easiest class to challenge and make feel special. Now, you're going to get other classes involved in holding back the horde, but there's something about being a fighter with a shield and a pike and just like, bring the army. Okay, that's the easy one. Eric. Make sure that you do some garden variety undead encounters. Now, if you need to do them on the road, that's cool. If you want to stick a little side room in your dungeon, and don't make something all crazy difficult. You don't need frickin' Strahd the vampire to challenge and make interesting your cleric. All you need is defiled ground where the dead have risen, and make them weak. There's like 8 of them. They have 8 hit points, 1 hit die each, and they're just like, but then make them immune to everything except magical silver or turn undead. In the 3 rounds it takes your group to figure out they can't hurt these weird super zombies, your cleric will realize, oh man, I've never used turn undead in this campaign. Finally! And he holds up, the mask of Philander. No, it's not Philander, it's Lathander. Come on, guys. Why am I mad at you? Okay, so there's your cleric. Give them a nice garden variety turn undead encounter. They will feel so cool. And then throw in a little bit of awesome flavor text on an inscription about how, you know, the holy light will someday cleanse this dark place. Next up, your thief, your rogue. A lot of people know the tricks to engage the thief and the rogue, but for some reason they don't wind up in a lot of encounters. Provide obvious traps. It's a narrow hallway lined with spikes. Who's gonna go in there and figure out what the hell to do? A rogue. Another great one is when you describe a room, accidentally imply who would be awesome in there. So you're like, this room has many shadows, hiding places, and rat nests along the walls where any skilled footpad could conceal himself. And it's kind of like, get in there and sneak around, dude. Another one is to present a target to a rogue. So there is a guard whose back is turned, his neck oddly exposed, and he is oblivious of your presence, right? The rogue is just gonna be like, sadism. Ranger. Do an encounter, probably on the road, depending on your encounter, but when you're out in the woods, have an unusual falcon watching over the group. The falcon is sort of drawn to the ranger and actually trying to warn the party of a low-level threat, like a group of marauding kobolds, right? So the falcon actually has just escaped the kobolds. They were going to eat him for dinner. He comes to the ranger for help, communicates with the ranger, and the ranger uses the trees, the outdoor setting, all of his abilities come together so he can whip some kobolds. It's not huge for your campaign, but it lets the ranger have the day in the sun that all their abilities build up to. Don't deny them those things, and don't make them wait 7 sessions to get a little bit of a, oh hell yeah, I'm a dope ranger. How do you make your wizard feel engaged? Well, you want to do magic inscriptions on things. You want to find books. You want to burn scrolls. You want a rust monster to be eating an ancient book of spells and just rub it in their face, and then they have to look through the ruins. Anytime you have a suggestion of deep, ancient magic, your wizard is going to be super interested. So take stock on what your players are, and then build either primary or interim encounters that just directly, openly ape the things that they built their character to do. Don't be shy with it. Pick one focal point. Say, man, I am going to provide so many shadows and hiding places in this encounter. This rogue is just going to have a heyday. He's going to be sneaking out, and everybody else is going to be like, what's going on? But then make it last, 45 minutes, half an hour. It's a quick interim encounter. He gets this super juice of adrenaline, and then back to the primary story. Doing a dungeon crawl, you have a lot of opportunities with small rooms that aren't really the crux rooms, where you can just do small gimmicks with small amounts of wins, especially for like 4th level characters. There's a lot of things in the world that if you use the monsters right out of the book, they can just whip them. So let them whip them. Save your big challenges for moments that you want to be big, and the rest of the time, focused on simple aping. With aping, by the way, a term for like unconcealed obviousness. It's borderline to saying, hey guys, we're in the rogue room. Okay, rogue, do something cool. Everybody else will follow. Now, you're going to always have like initiative getting in your way and all kinds of other things, but as a good DM, you know how to work through all that stuff, so I don't have to get into that. That is my basic advice for player class challenges. Like everything else that we're focusing on, keep your rooms really simple with kind of one gimmick or theme per room or encounter. Don't layer them all up and just blow your own mind. Everybody loves when they think they see what's happening. It's kind of like in a whodunit. When you kind of get told who did the crime, but then you got to work through all the fun. It's kind of knowing that's so fun. Having no idea and just trying to figure out what's going through the DM's mind isn't fun for any player class. So just let them enjoy the theme and tone for any given space, and use your descriptive text to just kind of be like, okay, this room is filled with the evil undead and signs of unholy blasphemy. It's terror and disgust to any man of the cloth, and the holy would never tread here. But on the far side, the exit awaits. What will you do? This is a great way to say, yo, paladin or cleric, we don't acknowledge paladins. Hey cleric, man, this is it. This is Salem's Lot, baby. What you gonna do? Another great one is like, the shelves of this room are lined with some of the most ancient books of magic that you have ever seen in all the realms. But they are so moldering and ancient that even to touch them, they turn to dust. Then your mage is just gonna be like, how can we salvage the books? Then all you have to do is introduce a bunch of spiders, and the mage is on point because he doesn't want to just lose all the books, but the spiders, okay, I think you get my point. Once again, it's just keep it simple. All right, just a quick video. Just wanted to throw it in there because it popped in my mind and I was looking through some of the comments and like, hey, you should do some like player class stuff where the challenges are, you know, how can you do that? You were probably dreaming of way more detail, but that's all you got. Great to have you guys on Drunken and Dragons as always. Please throw a tip in the tip jar so we can keep buying silly stuff. And thanks everyone for watching. Gonna be focusing a ton more on lots of little DM tips because I really do think dungeon mastering is the hardest, most unexplained part of the hobby and of the game. So that's where your buddy Hanker Inferno comes to play. I'm going to try to keep bringing it, getting all the secrets out of the shadows, and help you be a better dungeon master so everyone in your group can have more fun at the table. Now this one, not as technical as some of the other Key Mechanics series, but just remember, very simple. Keep your players at the center of your story. Build little encounters just for their class, and all that work they put into that character sheet is gonna feel worth it. So thanks for watching, everybody. Looks like my Ren Fair fighter's mohawk is starting to come in. That's why I look like such a murder hobo right now. So sorry about that, but hey, artist sacrifice, man. You gotta look super silly if you really want to roll up on Ren Fair, and you gotta look like silly for like a year. I'm gonna look silly for like a year.